Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. Today I am updating you to let you know how our homeschool year is going so far. If you're new here, hello, my name is Erin. I am a homeschool mom to 3 kiddos, and we are in our 7th year of homeschooling. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I am updating you on how our homeschool year is going so far. This is a mid-year check-in, and this is a collaboration that is hosted by Davine from Calm in the Chaos Homeschool and Shauna from Homegrown Homeschool. If you do not know Davine and Shauna, I will link both of their channels down below. Please go and say hello to them. And I will also link the playlist down below that is full of other moms that are hopping on to let you know how their school years are going so far. So after you're done watching my video, hop on down and check out that playlist and say hello to everybody there. So let's jump right in. I do have some notes, so if you see me glancing around, I need to reference them. So I have them here. But the first thing I'm going to do is update you all a little bit on how just things overall as a family are going this year so far. So it is the beginning of January. We are through fall. We are through Christmas. We are through New Year's. And I almost cannot believe that I am filming a mid-year check-in. I feel like I say that every single year. I say that at the end of every single year, at the beginning of every single year, but I really just cannot believe how quickly time goes. So a few updates within our family in homeschool and just life in general. As homeschoolers, our life is just infiltrated with homeschooling, so I feel like it all kind of flows together, as you all understand. So I just wanted to mention a few things that have impacted us in different ways. And yeah, let's start with the first thing I have on my list. Let me see if I can put these up here so it's maybe not so awkward with me glancing down, but I feel like I'm just gonna have to keep it down there. So just bear with me. All right, we have taken a few field trips, day trips, and different types of trips this year so far, which is actually one of my goals that I had for this year, was to get out and do a couple more things that are a little more local to us, not super far away. We didn't travel extensively this year, so we stayed kind of local and did some things around us, which are honestly some of the best types of trips that you can take. A few of those that I wanted to mention that we've done so far this year. We took a field trip with a friend that we were invited to, and it was at a nature preserve. We went on a nature walk, and it was a fun time. It was very rainy. It was chilly. I don't prefer nature walks in the rain, but we made the best of it, and it was a nice time. And I'll pop up a couple pictures from our day. Again, learning involved, and it was a nice time. It was fun altogether. We also went to the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. I will touch on that a little bit more in a few minutes on why we chose to do that this year. We had never been to the Ren Fair before, but again, it was a fun time, lots of learning involved. I can't say that we will be doing it every single year. Some people are very into it. We were not super into it, except for this year, and there is a reason why, which I will mention shortly. But it was fun. We had a good time. We made memories. We went with a group of friends again, and we just had a good time together. We also visited Chocolate World. We live about an hour from Hershey. We're not super far. My two of the children, Easton and Eden, both have medical visits yearly that we need to go to Hershey Medical Center for. This specific one was for Eden and some of her skin testing she gets done for her allergies every year. So anyway, long story short, all of the children were with me on this day. We all went together. They went to Eden's appointment with me, and I rewarded them all when we were done by taking a little trip through Chocolate World. We did the tour. You get in this little cart and you go through the tour that kind of gives you a little bit of history about Hershey's chocolate, how it's made, and things like that. And we've done it before. It's not the first time, but it's always such a little sweet, fun time. And it's free. So we hopped on that. We did that. And then we just walked around a little bit, and the kids got some pictures taken and things like that. So that's always a fun time. So that was a really fun day trip we took. And we also, just as a family, were invited to go with friends to National Harbor, Maryland. That was just a few weekends ago, and that was a fun time as well. I'd never been there before, had never heard of it before. It's only about 2 hours from us, so that was a fun time as well. And then on New Year's Day, my husband was off work and we decided to spontaneously take a day trip to Washington, D.C. That was fun as well. Again, just a simple day trip, about 2 hours from our house, and we made lots of memories. We visited one of the Smithsonian museums. Those museums, most of them, well, not most of them, but the one specifically that we went to is very big. So we only had 3 hours of parking. And so we chose to only do that one museum on the day that we went. But we did talk about going back in the future to visit some of the other ones. So again, a sweet time, very good memories made. So happy my husband could be off to go with us. And I'll pop a few pictures up from that trip as well. Eden turned 6 in October and Easton turned 12 in October. And if you guys know our family, if you do not know our family, if you followed me on here for a couple years now, you know that all of our children's birthdays are very, very special. We have parties for each of them and we celebrate each of them in different ways. However, Easton's each year is celebrated in a similar way, as his birthday falls on Halloween. And so we choose as a family to dress up and do a different event each year to celebrate Easton's birthday on the 31st of October. This year, we chose the Renaissance theme, specifically Royal Renaissance. And so our family dressed up for our annual Christmas card photo as a royal family from the Renaissance time period. And it was so much fun. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of studying the time period. It was a lot of thinking through costumes and details and colors and time frames. And it was a lot of planning. But it went so well. Everything went so well. And we just had such a great time with it. And so I will pop up a couple pictures here. I'm also planning to put together sort of a slideshow to kind of to kind of follow along in the process we took to create this event. Some years our photographer creates a video for us from the theme that we chose. Last year we traveled to SpaceX, so we went to Starbase, and there was a whole travel vlog involved in that, and we also had photos that went along with that. This year we did not have a video created. We simply did family photos, but they turned out really perfectly. And then every year for Christmas, we include one of those photos on our Christmas card. And so I will hopefully within the next couple weeks get those videos created. And I was just going to put together a slideshow of the party that we had for him, the photos that we took, and also a couple of other things along the way as far as planning and things like that went along with it. So that was probably our big news so far from this year. And it was a good fall and winter. Now we're into winter. Like I said, we're through Christmas, we're through New Year's. We've had a little bit of sickness here. Eden's been sick for about a week. Thankfully, her fever's gone today. I know that things are really going around right now, so we're not the only ones that are kind of in the trenches with it. So anyway, everybody's good. We're doing good. We're into our school year. So now that I've updated you on family stuff, let's talk a little bit about school. Okay, so I went back and I watched my curriculum pick videos from the beginning of the year. I will link them down below if you did not see them. I'm not going to touch on every single subject and every single thing in this video because it would be too long. And I also don't have much to say about everything. The things that I do have things to say about, I will say. Otherwise, you can hop back to those videos and watch in the beginning what I chose for each child and each subject. If there is a specific topic or subject that you are curious about that I forgot to mention today, or you have further questions, please leave your questions down below and I will do my best to answer them. There may be things that I forget, and there may be things that I just kind of breeze over that you wanted to know a little bit more about. So please ask. Don't feel hesitant to ask. The first thing I want to talk about are our group subjects, or the subjects that we do kind of all together as a family. And those are Bible, music, art, health, and handwriting. Now, Bible, music, art, and health, they all do on the same level. We're going through unit studies or courses together. They are all going well. Bible, we're about halfway through. And let me just mention really quickly, some of the courses, a lot of these courses are 180-day courses. But because we are in co-op once a week, over Christmas, we do a laxed, revised learning, which I think a lot of people do that. We aren't behind, but we are behind as far as days, as far as lesson numbers of the days go, if that makes sense. So, for example, we are halfway through our school year and we have done enough school days to be halfway through our school year, but Easton's only on lesson 40 in zoology. So keep that in mind as we go along. And that is because we have co-op on one day of the week. We didn't do history and science every day over Christmas, our Christmas learning break time, and things like that. So keep that in mind. Bible, we're about halfway through. Music, art, health, it's going fine. Those are the ones that kind of they don't fall to the wayside, but they're not at the top of the priority list. So if there's days that come and go and we didn't get to them, that's okay, but that's going to make us move through those courses a little bit slower. Again, it's fine, but we're not necessarily speeding through them. Okay. Handwriting is going well. I would say they're all not quite halfway through, but they do well with it. And at the end of the year, if we have to pick and choose lessons to skip over, then we will just do that near the end. Okay, so that's basically group subject recap. I already filmed all of the videos for the kids' updates, but I'm going to redo them because the audio is really not pleasant. So we're going to try this again. So the first child I'm updating you on is Eden, and Eden is my youngest, and she is in kindergarten this year, and math is going well for her. We are using Easy Peasy Kinder Math, and she did let me know at some point that it seemed a little too easy for her, so I went ahead and hopped on Amazon, and I ordered another simple kindergarten math book to add into her Kinder Math to kind of give her a little boost, and she's doing really well with it. I let her choose each day which one she would like to do, if she wants to do her workbook or if she wants to do the computer, and sometimes she'll do both, and it's going well. It's actually the same math book that Zoe used when she was in kindergarten, and so I will link that down below if you are wondering what that extra little workbook is. And then for elemental phonics, she completed level 1, and she did so good with it. She is just really understanding the basics of reading, and we have moved on to the sight word book, which again, she's also doing really well with. I will start her on level 2 of elemental phonics in the next week or two, but so far she is cruising right along, and I'm telling you, one of the greatest things about homeschooling is to be able to see your child start to read and start to understand how to read and just expand on that. And it is just such a wonderful blessing. So I'm very thankful for that. And she is just doing so well. For spelling, I had mentioned in the beginning of the year that I was going to have her sit in with Zoe for All About Spelling Level 1. And for the first week or two, she did. And then she just sort of checked out. And I just think it's a little too advanced for her, which is completely fine. There will be time for that later. So for now, she sits with us for the first few minutes when we do the review. And then I simply give her spelling words on a dry erase board that are easy for her to read on her own or with a little help from me. She copies them one time, and then we read over them together, and I can kind of gauge where she's at and just make sure she's understanding those words. And that's what I do for her as of right now for spelling. For history and zoology, both her and Zoe are going through the same course together at the same time. And some of this information also just seems a little bit beyond her and Zoe both. And so I've really just had to go through and pick and choose what I wanted to touch on as far as each topic along with these courses. But there's great information involved in these courses, and we have used a lot of it. We have also kind of filled in here and there just some different reading or unit studies, like tiny mini unit studies that I felt like they would maybe like a little bit more. Both of them like to learn very hands-on, and so we love lap books and we love manipulatives and things like that. And so overall, they're going well, although I have had to tweak it along the way a bit. But again, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Co-op is going okay for her. She is still in the K through 2 class, and she doesn't love it quite as much as Easton and Zoe do, but she's pushing along and she does okay with it. Her class is very big, and there's a lot of energy in that class. And I think sometimes she struggles a little bit with that because she likes to learn and she likes to take it seriously. And there's a time to play, and she does enjoy playing as well. But she just has had to learn how to be patient and gracious. And we've had a lot of conversations when she's gotten home, and it's been really good. It's been good for her, and she needs to learn how to navigate those things in life, and things aren't always super pleasant. And so she is kind of learning that. But again, it's nothing terrible, and they learn a lot in that class. I am very impressed with the worksheet she brings home and the packets of things that they teach and the different subjects and things that they go through. It is really it's good for her. I think she will enjoy it a little bit more when she gets a little older and when she can rotate through classes like Easton and Zoe do. But for now, she's doing okay with it. And yep, we're just going to keep plugging along. Next up, I am going to be updating you on Zoe. Zoe is my middle child, and she is in 4th grade. Language arts is going fine for her. Math is going very well. She is in level 4 of teaching textbooks, and that's going great. For her easy peasy reader that I mentioned in the beginning, we did end up skipping over some of the content in the book. It was a little advanced for her. She was a little bored, which again, not everything is always super enjoyable and pleasant, but reading is something that I really want her to love and really enjoy. So we ended up skipping over some things. We ended up completing the Bobbsey twins at Snow Lodge, which is the story at the end of that reader. And she really, really loved that story. I read it with her, and it really is a sweet story. I have never personally read any of the Bobbsey twins before, but it's just such a beautiful family. It's like the Boxcar Children, where you just wish that you knew the family. They're so kind to each other, and there's great lessons learned, and they make friends, and they know how to be a friend, and they know how to be a wonderful sibling, and just a really neat story. So that was a good one. She really enjoyed that. We have set aside the reader for now, and now that we're after Christmas and kind of ramping back up again, I'm just going to be taking some books here from home that she is comfortable with reading to herself or to me. And I will just have her complete some of the pages as far as reading them. And then I am putting together some reading comprehension questions for her that she can complete after she has read the story. And I started to do this yesterday actually. And when she completed her questions after, she actually told me it was really fun. So that's good. That's what I was looking for. So for now, that's what we're going to be doing. And hopefully that sticks for the rest of the year. Let's see. For spelling, she is doing really well. She completely completed level 1 of All About Spelling, and we will be starting on level 2 in the next week or two. And she's really enjoying it. She likes the little tile, which is good. I really had a feeling that she would, and I'm glad that so far she is enjoying it. And for co-op, it's going really well for her. She loves co-op. She loves seeing her friends. She loves socializing. She's my social butterfly. And every week it's her favorite day of the week. So it's going well. I'm thankful for that. She is in home ec, which I am one of the teachers of the home ec class. I co-teach it with a friend, and it has really been a wonderful class so far. There's just multiple reasons why I've loved it so much. I may do a separate video on co-op and home ec, and if you're interested in that, let me know, because I have considered creating a video on that, kind of what we're doing and how it has gone so far, and it has just really warmed my heart in many different ways. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about that, then let me know, and I'll think about creating a video for that. But there have been a lot of really neat things that they have learned so far in the class. We made some oven mitts, and we've just done some baking and some cooking, and just learned some different hospitality house things. And it's just been a really neat course so far this year. So that's going well. She's also in elementary choir at co-op, and she is really enjoying it. She had a Christmas concert at the end of the first semester of co-op, and it was so dear. They did such a great job, and she has a really beautiful voice, and I just love that this has just kind of boosted that in her, and she's really thoroughly just pouring her heart into it. And I love seeing it. So that's going well. And one other update for her is that she joined a drama camp. And so in about 3 weeks, she'll be going through a week of drama camp. At the end of the week, they will put on a production, and she's super, super excited about it. The production is called The Tiny Train, and it's with the Academy of Arts, and a team of people from the Academy of Arts will come to our area, and they will train the children that are in the camp and work with them through the script for the whole week. And then at the end of the week, they will put on the performance for us. And she actually got the part of the tiny train. So she's working through memorizing her lines and her solo. And yeah, I'm super excited to see her just kind of blossom in that area over the next couple weeks. So that's Zoe's update. And the last update I have for you today is for Easton. Easton is my oldest, and he is in 6th grade. And let's see here. For his language arts and his spelling, everything is going fine there, just a little bit slow. He has a lot of vocabulary words and reading and worksheets that he fills out each week for his Narnia literature class for co-op. And so his spelling and language arts are sort of filled in as we see fit. So if he has a ton of vocabulary words and a lot of reading and other things to work on, I don't pile it all on his plate just to kind of check boxes. I do it as I see fit. And if I feel like he's getting enough practice in these other classes, then these again just kind of get filled in as I see he needs the lesson or so forth. So they are going a little bit slow, but they are going fine. His math is going well. He is in teaching textbooks level 7. And I also mentioned at the beginning of the year that I had him take the placement test for teaching textbooks to see if he would be in level 6 or 7, because he is technically in 6th grade. He tested into level 7, which is good for him. It's going really well. He does great with it. The lessons do take him a little bit of time, usually about 30 to 40 minutes, which is a good bit longer than what he's used to. So some days it's a lot for him, but it's nothing that he can't handle. I think it's more so that he wants to be done quicker than he is. So he has been challenged slightly, but he's good with challenges. He needs challenges to keep him on his toes, to keep him sharp, and it's good for him. So other than that, it's going well, and yep, he's cruising right along. Zoology is going fine. Again, he's not very far into zoology, but great information, wonderful course. We may end up taking this year as zoology part 1 and moving into next year zoology part 2 and using the same course, but just doing the second half that we won't get to this year. So stay tuned for that. I haven't decided for sure yet, but overall it's going okay. It's just slow. His history to every nation, the unit study we're using, is also going really well. Is a lot of reading involved with that as well, which again, he likes to read. Some days he feels like it is a lot, and I have also been reading through those books with him too, and I have noticed that in the Christian Heroes Then and Now books, which are the books that go along with that unit study, some of the chapters are much longer than some of the other chapters. And so depending on which chapters fall together on which day, you could be reading for 45 minutes or you could be reading for 20 minutes. So some days are longer than others, but again, it's nothing bad. Reading is good. I think sometimes he's having a little trouble getting used to the heavier load of schoolwork now that he's in 6th grade, but all in all, he's doing really well. It's a beautiful course, and it's been really neat to read through the books with him as he's going along through the course. And the last little bit of updates for him, co-op is also going really well for him. He's in the home ec class as well, so he's also made some oven mitts and done some baking and cooking. He loves working with his hands. He has done some sewing here at home with me before the home ec class, and he really enjoys it. He just loves making things, and he loves being in the kitchen and helping with dinner and baking and things like that. So all good skills for them to learn, and I'm just blessed to be a part of it. And he's also taking the Narnia class, as I mentioned, at co-op, which is going well. and photography class, which he's also really, really enjoying. And that's been a really great class as well. He's learned a lot of really great tips for photography, for editing photos and creating a blog. His photography teacher is a photographer on the side, and so she brings her real life skills into the class and imparts that into the children, which has been really awesome to have someone who's a professional in that area to be able to teach the course. And so he's learned a lot, not only about editing photos, but also about creating a blog and maintaining a blog and commenting on his classmates' blog posts and things like that. So that's been a really, really good course for him as well. He's learned a lot and he's really enjoying that. And then he's also just continuing to compete in his Rubik's Cube competition. So he's doing really good with that. He's made a great group of friends. He's constantly challenging himself to get better times along with his friends. And they keep each other accountable to those things. And he's also on the Bible quiz team at church. So he's been doing a lot of scripture memorizing in the book of Acts. And that's been really interesting to be a part of that as well. It's pretty intense. So it's been good, but it's a lot of memorization. So I think that is all that I have to update for today. Like I mentioned before, if you have any questions, please leave them down below and I will do my best to answer them. Hop on down and check out the playlist. I'll link it down below. And thanks for being here if you watched all the way to the end. It was a longer one, so thanks for sticking with me and we'll talk soon.